We keep things rolling here on a very busy edition of the Sports Cubicle on WCPT 820 AM, HeartlandSignal.com, and WSBC 1240 AM, Chicago. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Make sure you're on YouTube to see the video version of the show. Like, rate, review, subscribe to us over at the Sports Cubicle. So it has been a rough week when it comes to deaths in the Hollywood world, in the famous world, in the pop culture world. Ozzy Osbourne passed away. Big icon not only in metal and rock and roll, but also in movies and in sports, in arenas. Crazy Train is the bullpen song for so many closers. Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away as well. But one of the big ones that really, I think, took the big headlines, and that is in a moment that had a bunch of passing away, was Terry Bollea, or as you might know him as Hulk Hogan, dead at the age of 71. This is from TMZ. Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died at 71 years old, TMZ Sports has learned. Medics were dispatched to the WWE's Icon Clearwater, Florida home early Thursday morning, with operators stating it was regarding a, quote, cardiac arrest. It was later confirmed by both Clearwater's police department and fire department that Terry Bollea had passed away. So a little information leading up to that, he was having a spinal fusion surgery a few weeks before that in like May. And there were rumors by then that he wasn't able to speak then because they have to move, your voice box and all that in order to get to that point in the surgery. Then we found out that he had heart issues. There were rumors. People on his party, in his camp, were saying everything was okay. He's at karaoke. He's bowling. He's doing X, Y, or Z. But Hulk Hogan was very much a social media person. He was always online showing his Real American Beer, working out, and he went radio silent. And sure enough, we found out that he did pass away, that these rumors were true on some level. And I've heard the word complicated a lot when I've heard about Hulk Hogan. And the only thing complicated about it is how we speak of him. We live in a world where many things can be true at the same time. Hulk Hogan himself, with his own words, on video recording, on audio recording, told you how he felt about certain people, aka black people. We saw how he talked about a kid that his son was in a car with that ended up having severe brain damage because they were in a reckless driving accident. We saw that he had a sex tape with his then alleged friend. Also a union buster, by the way. That doesn't change the fact that since 1980-something, since 1979, he was a pop culture icon. He is the reason why, if you're a wrestling fan, you're probably a wrestling fan. He's the reason sports entertainment is a thing. To me, it's not complicated to talk about Terry Bollea. He was somebody who showed his ass many times, but was also a major pop icon who changed the world, good and bad. The lesson I think learned is sometimes you don't need to know your heroes, or you don't need to know the icons of time, because you get to know them. And the icons of wrestling, Vince McMahon, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and all three of them have had some form of fallout. And in addition to that, 10 years to the day of Hulk Hogan's passing is when the leaks came out of him giving the racial tirade and his thoughts of it. So kind of crazy that 10 years later, he died the same day where you could say his legacy was tarnished. I don't think it's wrong for you to have some emotional tie to Hulk Hogan as the icon that he is. Whether it was wrestling, whether it was Trouble in Paradise, whether it was WCW, whether it was the All-American Beer, whether it was the fact that he was a known MAGA lover, he was a Donald Trump guy. Either way, you have the right to feel how you do. If you're a person who will never forgive him for saying what he said, God bless you. And if you're somebody who rides with him because he's a treasure of your past, I get it. But for me personally, I don't need to dance on his grave. I also don't need to celebrate him. I could just acknowledge what Hulk Hogan did, good and bad, in his time on this earth. In a time in which star meant something different than it does now, there were only a few stars really in pop culture as the years went on, as generations went on, right? Like Sylvester Stallone was a star. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a star. Hulk Hogan was a star. When Saturday Night Live was having on, when he was on Arsenio Hall, when he was in Gremlins 2, when he was in Trouble in Paradise, there is a reason why it hurt so much and it was so aggravating to see Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, however you want to talk about it, take the turn that he did when he thought he was secretly saying something, and just out in public, the most divisive time in which Donald Trump was running on deportation and running on those type of thoughts. But Hulk Hogan had a chance to make amends to the wrestlers in WWE. He went in there and instead of apologizing to the black wrestlers in WWE, he said, be careful, you never know who's recording you.
Wow.
So what does that say? If a person is given a million chances and decides with that last chance, and all we know is Hogan loved to make money, decided not to make amends, not to show any humility, but to double down and say, it wasn't my fault. You can love Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea was a flawed individual.